Hello students, welcome you all to this class. Today we are going to discuss about ray diagrams in case of concave and convex mirrors. Well, actually, what are these ray diagrams? We know that we are having two types of mirrors, that is plane mirrors and spherical mirrors, and previously we have studied about the image characteristics in case of the plane mirror and spherical mirrors. In case of the plane mirror, we can see that the characteristics of the image are same, they do not change. What are the characteristics? Let me recall. What are those characteristics? The image formed in case of the plane mirror are, they are virtual image, they are erect image, the object distance is equal to image distance, object size is equal to image distance, and also it is lateral inversion takes place. Wherever you keep the object, we can observe these five characteristic features. The image characteristics are not changing, okay? But in case of the spherical mirrors, that is concave mirror and convex mirrors, depending upon the position of the object, the image characteristics are changing. So, by studying these ray diagrams, we can study about the different characteristics of the images formed in case of the concave and convex mirrors. Okay, now in order to draw the ray diagrams, first we must know what are the rules to draw the ray diagrams in case of concave and convex mirrors. Now actually, why these three rules are there? So let us try to understand once. Suppose we have a concave mirror and you have a object, let me say this is object. Now from the object many number of light rays move towards the concave mirror. Let me say this is one light ray, this another one, this is another one, this, so many light rays will move towards the mirror. Now wherever the light ray is incident, you have to draw a normal at that particular point, and please keep in mind how to draw the normal. The normal must pass through the center of curvature. You should draw the normal there, find out the angle of incidence, and then you have to draw a light ray equal to the angle of incidence. That is, the angle of reflection should be equal to the angle of incidence. Next, again you have to find the, you have to at the point of incidence, you have to draw the normal. That normal should pass through the center of curvature. Again find out what is the angle of incidence, and then you have to draw the angle of reflection depending upon the angle of incidence. So like this, for every point you have to find the angle of incidence, and then you have to draw the reflected light ray. So this method of drawing the ray diagrams is very difficult. So therefore we have been given three important rules to draw the ray diagrams, and these three rules will follow the laws of reflection. So let me explain to you the three rules. So first let me see in the case of concave mirror. Okay, so this is the pole, this is the focus, and this is the center of curvature. Always the focal length, that is the distance between the focus and the pole, will be half of the radius of curvature. What is radius of curvature? Distance between the center of curvature and pole. Okay, now when a parallel beam of light rays is incident on a concave mirror, this light ray is parallel to principal axis. So when a light ray parallel to principal axis is incident, then how does it reflect? So as per the laws of reflection, you have to draw a normal at this particular point, right? Now that normal will pass through the center of curvature. So it may be like this. This is the normal. Now you have to find the angle of incidence, and according to the angle of incidence, you have to draw the reflected ray following the angle of reflection. So according to that, if you draw, then we'll see that it passes through the focus, right? So when the light ray is incident parallel to principal axis, the reflected rays will pass through the focus. In this case, you have to keep in mind the laws of reflections are followed. Right. Now let us see the second one. So the second one, the second rule will be opposite to the first rule. This is the principal axis. This is the pole. This is the focus. This is the center of curvature. Okay. Now suppose if a light ray is passing through the focus. Light ray is passing through the focus. This is the point of incidence. At this point of incidence, you draw the normal. So the normal will pass through the center of curvature. Now again you find the angle of incidence and draw the reflected ray. So the reflected ray will be the other side. The reflected ray is like this. This is the angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So see here, when the light ray is incident passing through the focus, the reflected ray passes parallel to principal axis. Okay. Now coming to the third one. So this is the concave mirror. This is the pole. This is the focus. And this is the center of curvature. Now, if the light ray is incident such that it passes through the center of curvature like this. This is the incident light ray. The incident light ray is passing through the center of curvature. Now this is the point of incidence. Suppose if you draw the normal here, the normal will pass through the center of curvature only. Okay, so what is the angle of incidence? 0. So here the reflected ray will just retrace its path. That is, the light ray, if it's coming like this, then just retrace its path. That is, it go back in the same direction. Okay, so let me write the 3 rules. If the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through focus. This is the first one. This is. Now coming to the second one. If the incident ray passes through focus, then reflected ray passes parallel to principal axis. And finally, if incident ray passes through center of curvature, then reflected ray retraces its path. So look at this. If the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, that is when the light ray is parallel to principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through focus. The reflected ray will pass through the focus. So you have to keep in mind here, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now, second case. If the incident ray passes through focus, then the reflected ray passes parallel to principal axis. This is the reflected ray passing parallel to principal axis. Now, if the incident ray passes through C, that is center of curvature, then the reflected ray retraces its path. Now let us draw the ray diagrams. Okay, we have total 6 cases are there. So let us try to draw each case. While drawing all the cases, you must remember the 3 rules. So that's why I have written the 3 rules here. So each case we are going to see. Now in order to draw the concave mirror, just I am making use of a thread here, children, right? So this will be helping me in drawing the concave mirror. Okay, so this is my concave mirror. So this will be the center of curvature. Okay, this is my center of curvature, and this will be the pole. Okay, and this is the, I'm shading the concave mirror. Now first case is, I am placing the object at infinity, that is at a very long distance. For example, at very long distance, what does it mean is, suppose the focal length of the mirror is 15 centimeters or 20 centimeters. If I place the object at 2 meters or 3 meters, that distance will be a infinity distance. Okay, so that is at a very long distance. Now always remember, when the object is at infinity, object position is at infinity, when the object is placed at infinity, then we get a parallel beam of light rays. Parallel beam of light rays is incident on the concave mirror. Okay, so I am drawing the principal axis children. This one will be the principal axis. This is the principal axis. Principal axis. Okay, and the radius is 20 centimeters, so I am placing the focus at 10 centimeters. This is F. Right? Now, when the object is at infinity, we are getting a parallel beam of light rays. So now how many light rays we are considering is, we are taking only 2 light rays. Now in order to get the image, we make use of only 2 light rays. 2 light rays are enough to get the image. So the first light ray I am drawing above the principal axis. So as the object is at infinity children, I am going to get a parallel beam of light ray. So this is the first incident ray. Okay, and the reflected ray, how does the reflected light ray go? Now there is no need for me to measure in angle of incidence and angle of reflection. There is no need of drawing the normal also. Okay, why? Because we have designed these 3 rules following the laws of reflection. Okay, now if the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through the focus. So when I am drawing the reflected ray, it should pass through the focus. Okay, so the reflected ray passes through the focus. This is the reflected ray. Incident ray and the reflected ray. Now let me draw the another incident light ray. One I have drawn above and one I have drawn below the principal axis. This is the incident ray. And how does the reflected light ray go? It should pass through the focus according to the first rule. Right. Now, the 2 reflected light rays are meeting at a point F. Right. So let me write the characteristics here. The characteristics of image. The first is, as the reflected light rays are meeting, we are going to get a real image. So it's a real image, and if you are getting a real image, actually we don't see any image here. Okay, since the 2 reflected light rays are meeting, we are saying that we are getting a real image, and if it is a real image, then it is always inverted. We never get a real image which is erect. So if it's a real image, it's an inverted image. So depending on that, we are simply writing here, it's a erect. Sorry, real image is always inverted. And now look at the size. Actually we don't see any image there, and the 2 light rays are meeting here, so the size of the image is very small. So we say it's highly diminished. We call it as highly diminished. Highly diminished. So this real image and the inverted image will tell us about the nature. This is the nature of the image. And this last point tells us about the size. It tells us about the size. And the fourth one tells us about the position. Where is it formed? The two reflected light rays are meeting at F. So we are getting the image at F. So image is formed at F. Image is formed at F. Formed at F. So you have to remember all these characteristics. When the object is at infinity, we are getting a real and inverted image. We are getting highly diminished, and the image is formed at F. Okay children, now we will go for the second case. The first one, the object is at infinity. The second, we are bringing the object beyond C. Okay, so object is beyond C. So when the object is beyond C, we have to place the object here, that is after C. So let me see. I am making use of a thread here to draw the concave mirror. So this is the center of curvature and this is the concave mirror, and the distance between the, okay, it's 20 children. The radius of curvature is 20, and let me draw the principal axis. This is the principal axis. Okay, and at a distance of 10 centimeters, this is the focus, this is the pole, and this is the center of curvature. Now, the object is beyond C, that is after the C. Now, how do you draw the object is, you are going to draw a straight line perpendicular to the principal axis, and you are going to show arrow like this. Generally, it can be a object like a tree like this. So the tree we are showing in this form. Okay, so we denote the tree like a straight line perpendicular to principal axis with an arrow on the top. Okay, so this is the object now, and I denote object as AB. So here AB is the object. AB is the object. Now, how do you draw the, how do you get the image now? Now, from the object, you have to draw two light rays, two incident light rays. Now, the first light ray, I am going to start from the top part, that is this particular part, and I am going to use this first rule here. That is, if the light ray is parallel, so I am going to draw a parallel beam of light rays to the principal axis. This is the first incident light ray. Okay, now if the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through the focus. So we are going to draw the reflected ray. Reflected ray will pass through the focus. This is the reflected ray. Now we have to start the second ray right from the same particular point. And I am going to use it. If the light incident ray passes through focus, so I am going to draw a light ray from here, and that is going to pass through focus. So this is the second incident light ray. The reflected ray passes parallel to principal axis. Now, the reflected ray passes parallel to principal axis. So it is like this. It should be parallel to principal axis. Okay. This is a reflected ray. Now here the first reflected ray and the second reflected ray are meeting at a particular point. So at that particular point we are going to get the image. Let me draw the image like this. This is the image. And I show that as A dash B dash. So AB is the object, A dash, B dash is the image. Now let me write the characteristic features. So the first point is the image is real. Real, and you can see that it is inverted. Inverted, and look at the size. The size of the object is greater than the size of the image. So it is diminished image. It is diminished image. And what is the position? The position is, the image position is between C and F. Between C and F. So when the object is beyond C, the characteristics of the image are, it's real, inverted, diminished, and between C and F. Okay, so this is the third case. So the object is on C. So this is the center of curvature, this is the focus, and this is the pole. Let me draw the principal axis. This is the principal axis. Now let me draw the object on C. This is the object, and I denote it as AB. AB is the object and it is on C. Now the first light ray should be parallel. Always follow the rules. The first light ray is always parallel to principal axis, and the reflected ray passes through focus, as we have seen in the previous cases. Okay, this is a reflected ray. Now the second light ray should pass through focus. So previous case also we have followed the same rule. Passes through the focus. Now the reflected light ray is parallel to principal axis. So you are getting the image here. So generally this is a very special case. Why? Because here you can see that the size of the object and the size of the image both are same. AB is equal to A dash B dash. The size of the object is equal to size of the image. Let me write the characteristics here. The first one is the image is real and inverted. Why it is real? Because the reflected light is, the incident rays I have shown with a black color, and the reflected I have shown with the blue color. Real and inverted. The second one is the position. Where is the position? The position is on C. This is a special case, as I was saying. Why? Because object is on C, the image is also on C. And what about the size? Both are same. So therefore we will say the size of object is equal to size of image. And this is a very special case. When the object is on C, what are the characteristics? Real and inverted. The image is on C, and the size of the object is equal to size of the image. I will go for case 4. Object between C and F. Between C and F. Okay, so this is P, this is C, and this is principal axis, and this one will be the focus. Okay, now the object is between C and F, between C and F. Okay, the first, as usual, we are going to follow the first rule. The light ray is incident parallel to principal axis. This is the incident light ray, principal parallel to principal axis. Now the reflected ray passes through focus. This is the reflected ray. Okay, now the second incident light ray passes through focus. Passes through focus, and the reflected ray, let us see. Okay, the two reflected light rays are meeting beyond the C. It is here. This is the A dash, B dash. This was A and B. Now let us write the characteristics, children. When you look at the image, look at the size of the image. This is the size of the object. The size of the image is increased. So as the size is increased, we say it's a magnified image. So let me write the characteristics. Now I am going to just rub this rules. Why? Because I hope you know very well about the rules now. Let me write the characteristics here. So when the object is between C and F here, what are the characteristics? Now look at the image. It's a real or virtual? It's a real image. It's a real. Real, and it's inverted. Always remember, real images are always inverted. And what is the position? After C. So we say it's beyond C. It's beyond C. And is it a diminished or is it magnified? It's a magnified. If the size of the image, is more than the size of the object, we say it's a magnified image. We say it's a magnified image. So let me write magnified image. Okay, so when the object is between C and F, the image is real and inverted, beyond C, and it's a magnified image. Now let us go for the other cases. Now the image is on F. Let us see the fifth case, that is image is on, the object is on F. Okay, so this is the fifth case, children. Object on F. This is the principal axis. Let me say this is F, this is C. Right. Now the object is on focus. The object is on focus. The first, as usual, light ray is incident parallel to principal axis. Okay. And how is it reflected? It passes through the focus. Passes through the focus. Okay. Now you should be very careful with this case. Why? Because the second light ray previously we used to pass it from the focus, but since the object is on focus, we are going to follow the same rule but in a different manner. How? Let me tell you. So from this particular point you have to draw a light ray, but the focus, it is already on the focus. Okay, so you are going for the third rule, that is the light ray, if it is passing through C, it retraces its path. So from here, if you are drawing a light ray passing through C, it is moving in this direction. But we want the light ray should move towards the mirror, then only we will be getting the reflected light ray. Okay, so we are going to follow this model, that is you have to draw a light ray from C. You have to draw a light ray from this particular point as if it is coming from C. Let me say. So I am going to draw a light ray as if it is coming from C, like this. This is a light ray. This is an incident light ray. So let me extend this. Okay. Now, from this particular point, two incident light rays. Okay. One is this and second one is this. Two incident light rays. This incident light is reflected like this. Now coming to the, from here, the second light ray, how is it reflected is, it retraces its path. Why? Because it is following the last rule. So when it is retracing its path, it comes like this. See, look at the two reflected light rays. The two reflected light rays. Now let us write the characteristics. So now in this diagram we can see that the two reflected light rays are traveling parallel. That is, the parallel light rays never meet. Okay, so in this case we consider the two parallel light rays, we consider as if they are meeting at infinity, and we consider that the image is formed at infinity. So since the light rays are meeting, we take it as a real image and it's erect. And where do you find the image? At infinity. And the third and very important is the size. Actually, see children, here you don't see any image, but depending upon the properties of the ray diagrams, we say that the image is real and erect, it's formed at infinity. And what about the size? The size is highly magnified. This is a special case. The image is highly magnified. So we say it's highly magnified. Okay, next we are going for the last case, that is the object is between F and P, that is the focus and the pole. Let me draw the object like this. This is the object. Okay, and this is AB. AB is the object. Now, the first light ray should be always parallel to principal axis, and the reflected light ray must pass through the focus. Let me draw that. This is focus from here. Okay. This is a first reflected light ray. Now the second, as we have drawn here, the same rule we are going to follow here also. So I have to draw an incident ray from here, and that ray should come as if it is coming from the center of curvature. So I am going to do like this. Now the light ray is coming like this. So look at this. It's a little bit complicated. So this is the first incident light ray. The second one is this. This is the second incident light ray. Now how does it reflect? It reflects. That is, it retraces its path. So I am going to draw with a blue color. So light ray is reflected and passes through the focus. Sorry, center of curvature. Now, look at these two reflected light rays. These two reflected light rays, they never meet. Okay, so we can see that here the two reflected light rays are traveling parallel. Okay, and here the two reflected light rays are diverging. Okay, so we don't get a real image. So if you don't get a real image, we get a virtual image. So let me write here the characteristics. So what is the first It's a virtual image. It's a virtual image. Why virtual image? Because the reflected light rays are not meeting. Now let us try to get the position of the virtual image. So for that you have to extend the reflected light rays on the other side of the mirror. So let me extend the reflected light rays like this. So the extended one I am going to show with dotted like this, and the second one okay. We have seen that the two light rays, if you are extending other side of the mirror, they are meeting at one point. So this is a position where you are getting the image. It's a erect image, and look at the size of the image and size of the object. The size of the image is very much larger, so we say it's a magnified image. Magnified image. And the position beyond the mirror. Beyond the mirror. Beyond the mirror. Now this last case is a special case. Why? Because when you look at the previous 5 cases, a small mistake, children. So it's a real. Whenever it's real, it's a inverted. So it's a mistake. Okay. If you look at all the 5 cases, we got the real and inverted images. But coming to the last case, it's a virtual and erect. Okay. So in case of the concave mirror, we can see that we are going to get real images as well as virtual images. It depends on the position of the image. The last case you have to remember, this is a special case. That is when the object is between F and P, we are going to get a virtual image. And another special case is when the object is on C. When the object is on C, the size of the object and the size of image both are same. So these are the, I hope you have understood the characteristic features of the images when the objects are kept at different positions in case of concave mirrors. Okay children, now let us summarize all the features once again. So in case of the concave mirror, that is when the object is at infinity, we are getting the image at F. And what is the nature? It's real and inverted, and it's a highly diminished. Now when the object is placed beyond C, the image you are getting between C and F. And what is the nature? The same, real and inverted. And what the change is here, that is it is diminished. Previously it was highly diminished. Now this is diminished. Now coming to on C, the image is also on C. And the nature, real and inverted. There is no change in the nature. But coming to the size, object size is equal to image size. So you can see that here the size of the image is increasing and it has reached the object size equal to image size. Now between C and F, when object is placed between C and F, the image position is beyond C, and the nature is same, and coming to the size, it's a magnified image. And coming to on F, the image is formed at infinity, the nature is same, but coming to here it's highly magnified. Okay children, so when the object is at infinity, we are getting highly diminished. But when the object is on F, we are getting highly magnified. So this is one special case which you have to remember, and also this is a special case which you have to remember, and also this is a special case you have to remember, and of course you have to remember the last case also. Why? Because here when the object is placed between F and P, you are getting a virtual and erect image. All these are real and inverted, but the last one is virtual and erect, and it is a magnified. So I hope you have understood. We must have lot of patience while drawing the ray diagrams. So you have to follow the rules, okay, the 3 important rules, and then we'll be able to get the position of the object perfectly. We require a lot of patience for that, and I hope you have understood. In the next video, we are going to see about the characteristics of the image formed in case of convex mirror.